Why do we feel exhausted even when life looks successful? Why does anxiety show up after we get the job, the apartment, the relationship, the lifestyle we worked so hard for? Have you ever noticed that the more comfortable life becomes, the more restless the mind feels? You wake up tired, even after a full night's sleep. You scroll endlessly, but nothing really satisfies. You're doing well by society's standards, yet something inside you feels off. Not broken, just heavy. And you can't explain why. This isn't about quitting your job. It's not about escaping society. And it's not about becoming someone else. It's about understanding why peace feels harder to find than money. And why, more than 2,500 years ago, one man discovered an answer that feels uncomfortably relevant today. In this video, we explore an ancient truth taught by the Buddha, one that explains why modern life feels so heavy, even when nothing seems wrong on the surface. This is not a religious story, it's a human one. A story about the mind, about desire, about the quiet suffering most people live with but rarely talk about. If you're searching for clarity, calm, and a deeper sense of meaning in a noisy world, consider subscribing. Most people think suffering means pain, illness, loss, trauma, but that's not what most of us are struggling with. Our suffering is quieter. It sounds like, I should be happier than this. Why am I still anxious? What's wrong with me? We live in a world where convenience is everywhere. Food arrives in minutes. Entertainment never ends. Opportunities are endless. Yet the mind never rests. There's always something to chase. A better version of you, a higher salary, more recognition, more likes, more certainty. Even relationships feel like performance reviews now. Am I enough? Are they enough? Could I do better? And the moment we get what we want, the mind moves the finish line. This creates a quiet pressure, a background tension that follows us everywhere. The Buddha noticed this pattern long ago, not in offices or social media feeds, but in the mind itself. Before he was known as the Buddha, he was just a man, sheltered, privileged, surrounded by comfort. Yet even with everything provided, he felt uneasy, because comfort didn't answer the deeper question. Why does the mind suffer even when life is good? His awakening wasn't dramatic, it was observant. He noticed that suffering didn't come from life itself, but from how the mind relates to life. The mind is constantly grabbing at pleasure, grabbing at identity, grabbing at certainty. We don't just want success, we want to be someone because of it. We don't just want love, we want it to prove our worth. We don't just want peace, we want it to last forever. And this constant gripping creates tension. Not pain, tension. The Buddha taught that most suffering comes from desire, attachment, and identifying with every thought that passes through the mind. Not desire as ambition, but desire as, I need this to feel okay. Here's what rarely gets talked about. Our entire culture rewards wanting more. We are taught that dissatisfaction is fuel, that rest is laziness, that contentment means you've stopped growing. Letting go sounds like losing. Detachment sounds like weakness. Presence sounds unproductive. So when the Buddha said peace doesn't come from getting more, but from understanding the mind, most people weren't ready for that. And most still aren't. Because if peace doesn't come from achievement, then what are we chasing? What most of us don't realize is this: peace doesn't come from fixing life. It comes from understanding the mind that experiences life. You can change jobs and still feel anxious. You can upgrade relationships and still feel lonely. You can reach goals and still feel empty, because the mind hasn't learned to rest. The mind creates stories. I'll be happy when. I'll be safe if. I'll finally relax once. But once becomes never, because the mind doesn't want solutions. It wants stimulation. And this endless mental noise is what exhausts us. Not life, the thinking about life. Look at modern work culture. Your value is measured by output. Your identity becomes your job title. Your self-worth rises and falls with performance. The Buddha would say, you're attaching your identity to something that constantly changes. Look at dating. We're more connected than ever, yet intimacy feels rare. Because we're not meeting people, we're evaluating them. Can they make me happy? Can they complete me? Can they validate me? That pressure kills presence. Look at social media. We don't just share moments, we compare them. And comparison is desire wearing a mask. The desire to be more, to be seen, to be enough. The Buddha didn't teach rituals for escape. He taught awareness for freedom. Not rules, not beliefs, just simple shifts. First, observe your thoughts. Not to stop them, not to judge them, just notice. You'll realize how many thoughts are fear-based, future-focused, or self-critical. And the moment you observe a thought, you're no longer trapped inside it. Second, detach from outcomes. Do your work fully, show up honestly, but release the need for control. Clinging to outcomes creates anxiety before success and emptiness after it. Third, practice presence in ordinary moments. Not retreats, not silence caves, just moments. Drinking coffee, walking, listening without planning your response. Presence reduces mental noise without effort. Fourth, simplify your mental diet. Not everything needs your attention. Not every opinion needs a reaction. Not every emotion needs a story. Peace grows when mental clutter decreases. The Buddha never promised an easy life. He promised a clear mind. And when the mind becomes clear, life becomes lighter. Problems don't disappear, but they stop defining you. Success doesn't vanish, but it stops owning you. And peace stops being something you chase and starts being something you recognize. Not because life changed, but because you saw it clearly. If this message resonated with you, like the video and share it with someone who might need peace today. You don't need to escape the world to find calm. You only need to stop fighting your own mind. Silence was always there.